Hey guys, this is Stacy from EatTheBite.com, and today I'm making these incredible caramelized onion and goat cheese puffs just in time for appetizer season. So, let me show you how to make them. First, we'll take a couple of medium-sized onions, cut them in half, and then slice them into thin strips. After that, we'll take all the onions and put them in a large pan where we'll caramelize them and create a beautiful browned onion. We're going to melt a little butter in a pan with some olive oil, and then we'll also season that with some salt and pepper. After that, we'll give the onions a good mix to coat, and we'll let these cook on low to medium heat for about 25 to 30 minutes, stirring throughout the cooking process as needed. While the onions are cooking, I'll do some other prep. I've got some fresh thyme, and I'll pull the leaves from a few sprigs like you see here. Just start from the top of the sprig and then pull down gently. After that, we'll chop it down a bit until it's nice and fine. We'll go ahead and give our onions a little stir here. They're starting to soften and brown. Then by the end of the 25-minute mark, they should be looking about like this. Once they get to this point, I am going to add a little bit of sugar to the onions to help with the caramelization and to give them a bit more sweetness. Then I'm going to give them a stir around the pan to get that sugar mixed in. I'll sprinkle on that fresh thyme over the top. Then I'll get in there, give it one more mix around. I'll let those cook a few more minutes and then let them cool a bit while I get the dough ready. I'm spraying my mini muffin tin with some non-stick cooking spray, and then I'll set that aside for a minute. I'm using the frozen puff pastry dough that you can get at your grocery store. I laid out the dough on my cutting board and rolled it a bit to help push the fold lines together a little better. Then I rotated and rolled it again in the other direction. After that, I used a pizza cutter to cut the dough in one direction with 4 cuts. Then I turned my cutting board to cut the dough in the other direction with 3 cuts to make the squares. Dough is not perfect, so I trimmed a little off that right side and stuck it to the bottom, which had a small gap to fill. Now, all we have to do is take those dough squares and gently press them into the mini muffin tin. I was able to get 20 puffs from 1 sheet of dough. After that, we'll go ahead and add those caramelized onions into each puff. Just a small forkful of onion per puff works great. Next, we're going to go ahead and add the goat cheese. And goat cheese can get a little messy, so I've got a small cup with warm water to dip my knife in as needed, and I've got my goat cheese on top of parchment paper. And since puff pastry puffs up best when cold, I stuck my tin in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes, then transferred to a preheated oven at 400 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. And here they are right out of the oven. Now all that's left is to transfer these to a serving platter. I'm going to go ahead and garnish that with a little extra fresh thyme. And if you'd like, you can drizzle a little bit of honey over the puffs and you're ready to serve. This is a great appetizer for a gathering, especially around the holidays, and you can easily double the recipe too. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.